So I just saw what might be the most demanding Switch 2 game yet, 007 First Light from IO Interactive, and honestly, I'm not sure the console can handle it. At Gamescom, I sat through a private 30-minute demo. It was hands off, but everything was played live in front of me. And I'll be straight with you, I walked out hyped, incredibly hyped in fact, but also skeptical. This looked incredible, but can Switch 2 really deliver it? But that's what we're going to be breaking down today, and if you do enjoy this video, think daily Switch 2 coverage, so previews, deals, performance breakdowns, reviews, make sure to hit subscribe, it helps out the channel a huge amount. So what is 007 First Light? Well, it's not another movie tie-in, IO are actually telling their own Bond origin story here. It's young Bond, before he's earned that license. It's not Hitman with a tux either. This is a more action-focused experience. So yes, you've still got stealth, you've still got gadgets, but now it's paired with massive set pieces, so think car chases, explosions, shootouts that will flow straight into cutscenes. The pacing, it's going to be faster, the spectacle, much bigger, and it leans harder into those classic spy moments. It feels less like a sandbox and more like a Bond movie. Oh yeah, come to life. I walked away thinking, well yeah, it's kind of like Uncharted meets Hitman with all the charm and swagger you'd expect. But on to what I saw, and there was a state of play recently as well. If you've seen that, you'll already have a pretty good idea of the demo. What I saw at Gamescom was largely that same slice, only this time it was played live right in front of me, and that makes a difference, so let's talk about it. The mission I saw is clearly the start of the game. Bond's not 007 yet, he's still earning that title. You're training alongside other MI6 hopefuls, and you're already finding, ways to bend the rules. The setup, track down Agent 009. They've gone rogue. The setting, a luxury hotel. And it's sharp, stylish, and it's full of eyes watching your every move. It's all very Hitman, honestly, and I think anyone will see that. But now, technically, for this mission, Bond's in, let's say, a less important role. He's supposed to stay outside, play chauffeur, keep lookout. But of course, he doesn't. He spots a bellhop acting suspicious, tossing out luggage like it's nothing, and instead of waiting, of course he goes to investigate. It's classic Bond. Now, as soon as control was handed over, any Hitman fan would feel right at home. Not because it looked the same, but because the options just opened up. Distractions, gadgets, multiple ways forward. It's about noticing the small details, where the cracks are, and exploiting them. Now, at one point, for example, there was a pile of leaves. Spark it up, and suddenly you've got a smokescreen distraction. Now, it wasn't exactly subtle, but it was effective. Then there's the watch. Not just a fashion statement, Bond can actually stun enemies from a distance. Now, what I love though, most of all, was the Bond attitude layered in. He climbs through a window, gets caught by staff, and instead of panicking, he bluffs. I'm a security inspector. Delivered completely deadpan, and it works. That quick wit mixed with stealth, it just felt bang on for the character. Now inside, the hotel opened up even more. You could chat to the bartender, tale of the bellhop, or just wonder and soak up the tension as other trainees closed in. Remember, you're supposed to be outside. They can't see you either. It felt flexible though, classic IO interactive, but far more cinematic than Hitman sandboxes. Then the demo jumped forward, a different save file, and the tone just completely changed. Suddenly, we were in a car chase. Bond's behind the wheel, 009 making a run for it. This wasn't just a static sandbox anymore, it was spectacle layered on top. Now, how much control the player truly had, it was kind of hard to tell, and my guess it's a little on rails, designed to keep things tight and cinematic, but either way, it was action heavy, and I loved it. Traffic blocking the road, obstacles forcing you off course, sending the car just bouncing all over the shop. It looked slick, it looked fast, it just carried the Bond energy. And just when it felt like the chase was ending, things of course escalated. We hit the airport. The license to kill came online and everything went wild. Explosions, enemies everywhere, Bond fighting against impossible odds. Then, a few moments later, a stolen vehicle, a pursuit onto the runway, and we're boarding a plane mid-takeoff. So I thought that's the finale. It's not. In fact, not even close. On board, cargo's flying, enemies are being thrown out, the whole plane's unstable. You're basically kind of scrambling for control, and enemies are just everywhere. The next thing though, definitely took me by surprise. Bond dives from the plane. No parachute, just gravity, and I guess the hope he'll grab one on the journey down. It felt massive, cinematic, and over the top in the best possible way. If Hitman is all about methodical planning, this is that DNA spliced with big action spectacle, and honestly, it feels like the perfect fit for Bond. Just think Uncharted meets Hitman, and yeah, I think that would be the comparison near anyone would make. So yeah, that 30-minute demo in a small theatre, it won me over. I walked out of there wanting to put on a Bond movie immediately, and that tells me they just nailed that delivery. But here's the question from all of this. How will this run on Switch 2? Now, if you played Hitman on Switch 2, you'll know the story. Visually, it was impressive. Performance was okay. Take Dubai. It's a massive skyscraper. It's packed with crowds and dynamic lighting. And at launch, it was rough. It was targeting 60, hovering closer to 30, and dipping even lower when you were in the museum or alarms went off. Now, IO patched it recently with a 30 FPS cap option. And honestly, that works way better. If you're playing Hitman right now, that's the mode I'd recommend. First light, this is Hitman dialed up to 11. The hotel had more NPCs than Dubai at its busiest. Then smoke effects, destructible scenery, dynamic lighting everywhere. The chase, dozens of vehicles, debris flying, environmental destruction. And the airport finale? Explosions, physics objects, cargo flying, crowds scattering. It's gonna push Switch 2 harder than anything we've seen. So here's my guess. 30 FPS will be the target. Dynamic resolution will be everywhere. Crowds might be trimmed and effects definitely toned down. But of course, it'll run. It's coming to Switch 2. I think the good news with this one is IO has time. Hitman was no doubt a little rushed to hit launch day. Bond has that longer runway. They know the hardware now too. They've no doubt learnt the limits. And they've also handled action before. I think a lot of people are going to question their ability to translate the gunplay because Hitman's not famous for it. But remember, this same studio made Kane and Lynch and Freedom Fighters, so that should be the least of your concerns. Basically, I'm optimistic. I'm not expecting miracles, but I think they can get it right. And if they go ahead and add things like Switch-specific features, think gyro aiming or mouse-style controls, that's the kind of thing that makes the handheld version just feel special. So again, yes, it's going to arrive on Switch 2, but I do expect compromises. I think this is actually easily the most demanding Switch 2 game I've seen yet. And it's going to need some smart optimization to stay consistent. You know, I think a locked 30 FPS here feels inevitable. But if IO nails it, this could be Switch 2's first real blockbuster of 2026. The tone is spot on, the action's massive, and it actually just feels perfect for the character. But what do you think? Is this the killer app for Switch 2 in 2026? Or are we in for cutbacks that just generally hurt that experience? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed this preview, hit subscribe. I've got plenty more Switch 2 coverage coming very soon. So think performance breakdowns, previews, reviews, all that good stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers all.